What is up, guys? J-Dog Kun, and today we're doing my 315 plus volume collection. 2 shelves, for manga and 1 for video games. Let's just jump right into it. Okay, first up we got the Naruto box set. I'm a big fan of Naruto, but it definitely falls off after volume 48. I really like Naruto, okay? Like, it's not bad, but I think it's not my favorite shonen, and there's definitely a lot of shonens like One Piece and stuff that'll very much pick over it. But I think the Akatsuki is very sick. I think a lot of the characters have good developments. There's a lot of really good moments. But besides that, Naruto's kind of mixed for me. I'll definitely pick up the second box set eventually. But I probably won't get the third, because I think the third is where it gets bad. Okay, my other box set on the shelf is the Silent Voice box set. And, Silent Voice is definitely one of my favorite series. I don't know how it's fallen off, because I've read a lot of really good shit lately, like Real and Attack on Titan. But I think I still have it in my top 5. Maybe it's outside. Maybe it's like number 6 or 7. But yeah, Silent Voice is great. Cheap box set. Definitely pick it up. Banger series. Okay, coming up, we have my first shelf, and we have Code Geass. To preface this, I'll just say how it's organized. So it's by company, so like Bandai starts with B. It's alphabetical and company, so, you know, I have Dark Horse second, because that's D. And then let's say for Dark Horse, Berserk is my first thing, because it's B. Okay? That makes sense? Hopefully. Yeah, first we got Code Geass. Probably the third or second worst thing in my collection. Did not enjoy it. Being a big fan of the anime, it was kind of like a kick in the nuts, but, I still would recommend the anime, even after reading the manga, even if you already know the story. I'm pretty sure it deviates a good bit, and yeah, definitely check out Code Geass, on the anime side. And the only reason I haven't sold this is that I don't really want anyone else to experience it. Okay, next we have Berserk, 1 through 10. I've read up to 13, I think, online. Common trend you'll see with me in Dark Horse series is that I read a bit ahead online just because, like, I don't like picking them up. They're overpriced and they're always out of stock. Berserk is one of my favorites from what I've read. It's just an amazing series. I love dark fantasy, being a big Dark Souls fan, and, you know, I like Skyrim. I just love dark fantasy as a genre, and Berserk excels at that. Golden Age is an amazing arc. I even really like so far, the Conviction arc's been pretty good. Actually, I think I've read a bit past 13 if I'm on Conviction. Lost Children might be even better than Golden Age. I really love that one. The first arc, I don't know what it's called. I think Black Swordsman, that one's also good. All the arcs have been really good. Some of them have been much better than the others, but yeah, banger series. Okay, next we have Blade of the Immortal 1 and 2. I've read ahead online, and this is a banger samurai series. I've probably been saying that a bit too much. Maybe calm down on the word banger, but Blade of the Immortal is my favorite samurai series. I think you know my opinions on Vagabond if you've been an avid watcher of this channel. But we'll talk about that. I think that and Gantz are my biggest disappointments, which we'll get to soon. Blade of the Immortal is really good. It tells a very compelling story with characters that have a lot of growth. I think the thing I didn't like about Vagabond is, in what I read, there wasn't any growth at all. It felt very still. The characters were very boring, and all these characters are very full of life. The villains are great. The main characters are also pretty cool. And yeah, just a great story, great atmosphere. Definitely pick it up. Okay, let's just cycle through all these omnibuses real quick. Gantz, I've said my opinion on it before. Don't like it. I think it's pretty bad. Probably the worst thing in my collection. I really dislike it. It was super hyped up to me, and I thought it was really bad. I hate the main character. He's a whiny, annoying piece of garbage. But yeah, I Am a Hero is good. The big story with me is that my parents got it for me at a very young age that I probably shouldn't have read it at, but whatever. I'd recommend it if you're into zombie stuff. I'm not going to pick up more of it because I just hate Dark Horse. I hate how they just hate money. And if they're not going to put these in stock, I'm not going to buy them. Lone Wolf and Cub. I'm planning on getting the singles eventually. But the omnibus, as you can see, the bookmark's been there for since my first collection video, and this is my third. I still haven't finished it. I don't know why. I think part of it is due to the fact that the size of the pages are really bad. It's really small. I have to really squint. And I have 20/20 vision. It's just bad. Like, reading in the dark, not like fully in the dark, but with like my light and my nightstand is just not even possible. And yeah, it's just kind of hard to read, but I'll definitely pick up the single soon. Next we have Mob Psycho 100 Volume 1. This is, again, one of my favorite animes. I don't like the manga as much, but I think I need to read more. Okay, Opus. Opus is a great one-volume, little encapsulated story. I liked every second of Opus. I 100% recommend it. It's in my top 20. It's a great story. It's super meta. It's very interesting. It goes into different layers, and the author wasn't able to finish it but he actually weaves his own death and when it happened, weaves into the story itself. It's super meta, and yeah, 100% recommend it. Okay, sorry if the lighting's a bit darker. It's a bit later in the day, but next we have Drifting Dragons 1 through 3, covered by Chopper here. Let me just move him. I got this for my birthday, which was, at the time of recording this, 7 days ago. It is currently the 24th, and my birthday is the 17th, St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, my friend We Do Be Collecting Manga fucking praised this to the heavens, so I'm definitely interested. But yeah, Land of the Lustrous. It was a very good first volume, but it was confusing. I thought it was good, again, but it was confusing. It's a good story. It has interesting characters, but I couldn't comprehend a ton of it, but I can't wait to read more. Okay, next we have Parasite, volumes 1 through 3. Also, by the way, sorry if the audio quality is bad. It's kind of echoey in my room, but you'll just have to bear with it, I guess. Parasite 1 through 3. I really like the start. I honestly just put it on my backlog. It's one of those things where, same with Message to Adolf and Flowers of Evil, which admittedly are right next to each other. I really like it, but I just kind of put it off because I was reading better stuff. Same situation with To Your Eternity. I like To Your Eternity probably a bit better, and I'm definitely willing to pick this one up. It's these really beautiful self-contained stories. Kazi on Discord, or Kazi channel on Instagram, really likes it. I'll definitely pick up more. I really like how it's like self-contained stories. They feel like short stories in and of itself, but they all have this weird overarching plot. It's kind of like Blade of the Immortal. But yeah, definitely check out To Your Eternity. It's by the same person who made A Silent Voice, which, as you know, is one of my favorite series. Okay, coming down here, we have the next section of my first shelf, and, yeah, we have Vinland Saga. I only have one volume. I plan to collect more. I really liked the first volume. Again, it was the same situation as a lot of these other series. I was just reading, like, a lot of better stuff at the time, where it didn't stand out as much, so I didn't want to keep collecting it compared to the other things. But Vinland Saga is good from what I've read. Super high quality. And yeah, next we have Witch Hat Atelier. I don't like it that much, but my friend We Do Be Collecting Manga. I mean, he keeps, like, saying it's gas. So, like, I mean, I will maybe collect more on, like, that, on the praise I've been hearing from it, from friends of mine. Yeah. But I don't know. Next we have Boogie Pop. It's a light novel. It's 700 pages. It scares me. Not because, like, if I was to read something 700 pages, I'd rather read an actual book, and that's why I've put it off for so long. But my goal is to collect all the Boogie Pop light novels and finish them in 2021. And yeah. The second Seven Seas work I have is The Girl from the Other Side, Volume 1. Haven't read it yet. I have no opinion. Got it for $4, though, which is kind of cool. Next we got Soul Eater, the complete edition. I spent a good bit of money on this, and I didn't enjoy it. I'm not the biggest Soul Eater fan. I never liked the anime, but I always heard the manga deviated, and yeah, I'm just not the biggest fan of it. Now that we've moved Luffy, let's go into my Tokyo Pop section. First, we have Battle Royale Volumes 4, 7, and 9. I'm trying to get a full set. I've just been picking up ones that I see for cheap prices. And yep, this is what I have so far. I'm planning on getting 1 through 3 or soon enough. Next, we have Ragnarok Volume 7. Again, another miscellaneous series that I want to piece together. I think it's only like 8 or 10 volumes. Haven't read it yet. Haven't started any of these, actually, which is kind of funny. Next, we got Sayuki. I haven't started. I got them both for $1, I think. Super cheap. Good deal. Yeah, definitely check it out soon. Next, we get into Vertical, which is probably my favorite publisher besides VizSig, which we'll get into later. Buddha. I will collect more of this soon. I'm kind of going to do a Tezuka binge eventually. I like Volume 1. It was good, but I've heard it actually, the rest of it strays away from Volume 1. My friend Dicehead27 really likes Tezuka stuff. I don't think he's actually read Buddha yet, but yeah, I'll definitely check it out when I do my Tezuka binge, inevitably. Next we got the Bakemonogatari light novels. I've watched almost all of the anime from Monogatari series, and I think it's fantastic. I think the light novels are like peak fiction, in a way. I think it's just really good stuff. I really enjoy the characters, the dynamic, the dialogue is so well crafted. It feels like every conversation is just thought up in such a real and interesting way. Next we got Blood on the Tracks. I've read the entire thing on scans. It's my favorite Oshimi work, and I only have one volume. I'll pick up the rest eventually. Great series, in my top 20. Probably maybe, like, on the lower half, probably, like, 19, 18 area, 17. But it's amazing. My friend Jake the Pog calls it Mid on the Tracks, and actually unsubscribe from Jake the Pog. He's a really bad person. Apparently, he kicks puppies, so I wouldn't recommend his channel. And he calls this mid on the track. So yeah, just don't even watch Jake the Pog. He's not even a cool guy, dude. Okay, next we have Message Date Off Volume 1. This is only 2 volumes. My friend Demko said that it was gas, so I had pretty high expectations. And initially, I didn't like it that much. But towards the end of Volume 1, I was like, wow. I'm definitely going to pick up 2 soon. And yeah, this is just a great series. This really cemented my love for Tezuka. And made me want to do the whole Tezuka binge. And yeah, it's just really, really good. The Flowers of Evil Volume 1. It's my least favorite Oshimi work. I still need to finish it. I will collect the rest of it soon. Knights of Sidonia. I read this first volume, one of the worst things in my collection. I don't think I'm a Tsutomu Nihei guy. I really like that sort of, like, visceral type of, like, not really showing you much storytelling, but I don't know about Knights of Sidonia, man. I don't think it does it well. Next we start my long, very long, even goes down to the beginning of my Viz Sig shelf. My very long Shonen Jump just area. Starting with Astro Lost in Space Volume 1. I've read the entire thing online, and I can confirm it's an amazing series. It's in my top 10, easily. People don't give it enough love. I think it's really good. All these people were like, oh, it's Among Us, sus, pink sus, black sus. Yeah, no. Those people who think it's like Among Us, the manga, like, I don't know. I don't vibe with that, but I think it's very good. I guess we'll put that to the side. Next we have Black Torch 1 through 5. I really like this. I think part of the reason I liked it so much is that I read it after taking a, like, 2.5 month break from manga, so I really got to, like, experience something that was, like, new. It gave me it wasn't what brought me back into manga. We'll get to what really brought me back into manga when my mini manga kind of hiatus later on my next shelf. But yeah, Black Torch is definitely a really good time. I 100% recommend it. Next we got Bleach by Tite Kubo. Tite Kubo, I have no clue. Tit Kubo, I don't know. We have the first 3 in 1, and then we have 4, 5, and 6. And yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Bleach, but Resident Puppy Kicker, he also Club Seals. Jake the Pog really likes it, so I'm willing to give it a second chance. Not because of him, just because I feel like it, you know. Finally, you have Death Note 1 through 5. I'm a big fan of Death Note. I think it's really high quality. I like the anime a bit more from what I've read, but I'll definitely pick this out. It's just kind of being, like, I'll take this back up. I don't know why I said that. It's definitely being overshadowed by a lot of really good series right now that I'm reading, but I'll definitely jump back into it soon. Okay, next we have Demon Slayer 1 and 2. Sorry for the voice change. I'm doing this early in the morning. I really enjoyed Demon Slayer, but it's not something that I'd see myself picking more up. Maybe every now and then, if I'm feeling like, you know, I'll pick a volume or 2 up, I'll pick a volume or 2 up. Then we got Dr. Slump. I've read all 18 volumes at the library. I don't own all of them, but this is a funny series. I haven't reread it, so you're basing this comedy level off of, like, 3rd grade me, but I really enjoyed it and thought it was super funny. Next, we have Dr. Stone 1 through 5, and admittedly, I've only read the first 3 volumes. I enjoyed it. I don't know how to feel about it, though. I have mixed opinions. On one point, it's an interesting story, but on the other point, it's kind of boring at times, and I don't think it's executed perfectly. But I'll definitely jump back into Volume 4 and 5 and see if I'll pick up more. We have an amalgamation Dragon Ball. If you don't know, Dragon Ball was my first series. I think Dr. Slump was my second, and then One Piece was my third, and Naruto, I think, was my fourth, and then One Punch Man was my fifth. So yeah, Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball, I've read all of, but it was a library situation where I only owned the volumes that weren't at the library. So the final 2 volumes, I remember volume 16 wasn't at the library, so I asked to get it for my birthday, and I got volume 16 physically, and I got, like, the 3-in-1 with 16 in it, which I found kind of funny. And yep, then we have Dragon Ball Super. I'm missing volume 2 because, funny story, I hated this. Even when I was younger, like, I absolutely just hated it. And when it came to the 2nd volume, I was reading it at my friend's house, and I was like, this is so bad that I just left it there. Like, I was never a fan of Dragon Ball Super, and I'm probably not picking this up. This will be something I sell eventually. Next we have Gintama Volumes 1 and 2. I really like Gintama. I'm gonna pick up more. It's kind of hard to find because it got canceled, but I've only read half a volume. But it's really good. It's really entertaining, uh, and I'm definitely planning on reading more. I just like the second I read the first half of the volume, my package for like a bunch of 20th Century Boys and ping pong and stuff like that came in. So I'm still trying to make my way through that. And then all of Dorohedoro came in for my birthday and Drifting Dragon. So I kind of have a huge backlog at the moment, but I'll definitely read more Gintama eventually. Hunter x Hunter, volumes 1 and 2. I'm a big fan of the anime. It's one of my favorites. I think the manga is really good, but it's never finishing. So I'd recommend just watching the anime, and the very end of the anime, consider that a cliffhanger, and that being the ending. I know it's kind of sad, but Togashi is never finishing Hunter x Hunter. I still have hope for Miura. I still have hope for the guy who made Vagabond. Inoue. But yeah, I think Hunter x Hunter is just lost. Okay, next we have JoJo's Part 1, 1 through 3, JoJo's Part 2, Volume 2, and JoJo's Part 4, 1 and 4. I'm not going to say how I got all these volumes. I've explained it in the past. I've mismatched JoJo because I've read the entirety of it online, and I'm just slowly picking it up. I was going to get all of Part 1, and then I decided to start Part 2. But then as a birthday present, one of my friends got me Part 4, Volume 1, and the other one got me 4 for some reason. So now I have those as well. I'm slowly picking it up. JoJo's one of my favorite series. It's my second favorite shonen after One Piece. I think Part 1 is a bit slow. I still enjoyed Part 1. It's a bit slow, though. Part 2 is really amazing. It's really fun. Part 3 is also really great. Part 4 is amazing. Probably one of the best parts. Part 5 is also really good. Part 6 is I don't think it's garbage like a lot of people do, but I don't think it's the best part like some people do. Part 7 is easily the best part. Maybe tied with 4 for the best part. And I haven't read Part 8 yet, but I plan on reading it soon. I'm just kind of out of the loop with JoJo, and I might wait for Part 8 to be finished. Next we have the Zelda manga. We have Phantom Hourglass, which admittedly is one of my least favorite ones, and Oracle of Ages, which is admittedly one of the few Zelda games I haven't even played. I don't know why these ones I got. I've read all of them at the library. I was a huge Zelda nerd. I still kind of am. I don't play them as much. I think once you've played all of them, it's kind of hard to go back to most of them, but Zelda's like still my favorite game franchise. Breath of the Wild is still one of my favorite games, if not my favorite game of all time. And Majora's Mask and Skyward Sword follow behind as like second and third. Maybe there's some that sneak in there. I'm a big fan of Undertale. I've been really liking Dark Souls lately. But yeah, that's the current list. Then we have Twilight Princess 1 through, going down here, 3. Twilight Princess is one that I really like. I actually don't like the game that much, but I really like the story. My friend Noku-kun is a big fan of Twilight Princess. I think it's his favorite. So he keeps telling me to replay it, and I might replay it soon. Maybe talk about it in a video, but for the time being, it's that one 3D. It's the only 3D Zelda game I just don't like. Next we have My Hero Academia Volume 1. I'm not the biggest fan of My Hero, and I'm probably not going to pick up more. End of story. I watched a lot of the anime. I think it's good. It's just not top priority at the moment. Next, we have One Piece 3 and 1, 1 through 3. And then we have 34 through 45. And then we have 55 through 57. And then we have 74 and 75. And then we have 82 up to 93, which is not current. I'm missing 94, I think 95, maybe even 96. I'm a bit behind on One Piece. What I like to do is, I don't like to, for Wano, I'm not going to read it until it's finished. That's how I consume One Piece. As you know, One Piece is like my second favorite manga, or third. It's top 3. It's amazing. It's the best shonen. It's something that I think the more time that you put into One Piece, the more you'll love it, I think, is something that a lot of people, like, start One Piece and they're like, what, this isn't a masterpiece off the bat? Like, why am I even reading this? But the more time you put into One Piece, it's like an open world game. The more time you put into it, the more appreciation you have for its world, its characters. And I totally recommend, like, a lot of people are like, oh, it's too long. But I don't really think that's, like, should be an argument because, like, if it's too long, if it's so long, if it's 90 plus volumes, wouldn't you want to keep reading it? Wouldn't you want to, like, let's say you really like it, then you have 90 volumes of content. There you go. We have Miscellaneous One Punch Man. Again, this is an early read, so I read most of it at the library. I have Volume 4, Volume 9, Volume 10, and 11. I'm planning on getting the rest of them soon. One Punch Man is an amazing series. I think I like Mob Psycho a bit better, but One Punch Man is such a funny series. It's such a just great shonen. It's not my favorite shonen of all time, but I really respect it and everything it stands for. I think the anime is actually even better. The first season, that is. I think the second season's kind of garbage, but yeah. To round off my shonen, we have 3 series, the final one being down there. But yeah, we have The Promised Neverland 1 through 4. I've read the entire manga on Shonen Jump app. I think the first 2 arcs are amazing. It's some of the best shonen you will ever read. But it really starts to fall off later. But I'd still recommend reading those, like, first 14 or so volumes. They're just amazing. I think the anime first season is even better than the manga. It's one of the best anime I've ever seen. And the second season, I'm just going to separate. Because the first season was one of my favorite anime. And the second season just... Not only did it butcher the legacy the manga had, but it also kind of butchered the legacy the first season had. And yeah, I'm not going to get too much into that. Next we have Shaman King Volumes 5 and 6. I don't know if it's 5 or 6, but one of these is going for a bit of money right now. Shaman King was one of my early reads as well, so I only have miscellaneous volumes that weren't at the library. So yeah, okay, finally, this is my Viz Sig shelf. It's kind of dark in here, so I'm going to record it later today. But we have Ultimo Volume 1 just sitting back there. It's actually a manga that Stan Lee worked on, and yeah, Ultimo seems really cool. I read the first volume, I really enjoyed it, but it's super hard to find, so I'm only going to pick it up if I see volumes. Okay, now we're coming down to my Viz Sig shelf at the very bottom of my first shelf. And first we have 20th Century Boys 1 through 10. I've only read 1 through 6, but this is easily one of my favorite series. It's just a masterpiece. Every volume has been amazing, and I can't wait to read 7 through 10. They just came in recently, but yeah, this is an amazing series. 100% recommend it. I think it's not as good as Monster, but Monster's hard to beat. I'll get into Monster on the second shelf, but yeah, 20th Century Boys is amazing. The villain is great. I think the main character is, like, in my top 5 main characters of all time. He's such a relatable character with motives that actually make sense for a main character. He doesn't feel like he's the hero, but he also doesn't feel like he's just some soulless, lifeless, kind of like, kind of protagonist like in Downfall. He's just such a real person, and if he feels so real, yeah, definitely pick up 20th Century Boys. Next we have Beastars. Beastars is good. I like the anime a bit better, which might be a bit of a sin. A lot of people like the manga better. I've only read the first volume, but I've watched both seasons of the anime, and I think it's a really good adaptation. I actually like it even better than the manga. So I'm probably not going to be picking up more of this, but eventually I probably will, because eventually, I guess I didn't say this, my goal is to get every single Viz Sig series ever. That's like my long-term collecting goal. It will take a bit, but I'm determined to get there. Next we have Dead Dead Demons 1 and 2. I'm a big Inio Asano fan, as you probably know if you see my videos. Pun Pun's like my favorite manga of all time, and so many of his manga I love so much. I still need to read more of this before I really base my opinion, but so far I'm liking it. Next we have Dorohedoro 1 through 18. I got this all for my birthday. As you can see, I have a bookmark in volume 5. I haven't read much so far, but I'm really liking it so much so far. I think the characters are super interesting. The world is just amazing. The world's definitely my favorite part. I love, like, every time it flashes to a new area, I just get, like, I don't know, I think it's the art in the world and the atmosphere is really what is pulling the story for me. And the characters, I think the story's kind of all over the place, but everything else kind of accommodates for it. And the covers are sick. Let me pull some of my favorites out. 17 is amazing. Where's some others? Was it 14? Yeah, 14 is sick. Sorry for the glare, by the way. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. And I think it was 10, yeah. 10 is sick. A lot of these covers are just super good. I think every single one shines in its own way, and I definitely recommend this so far. Next we have Downfall by Inio Asano. It's probably my least favorite work by him. I think it tries to say a lot, but fails to say what it's kind of trying to do. I know some people really like it. It's still a solid, like, 6 out of 10. You know what I mean? It's not, like, the worst thing I've ever read. But it strives to say a message, and I don't think it comes across well. Next we have Fire Punch Volume 1. Okay, this manga is horrible. Like, it is, like, so messed up. It's not, like, a horrible manga. Don't get me wrong. It's, like, a really just messed up manga. Like, there's no morals. Like, every character is just kind of a piece of shit. But it's really entertaining. It's, like, reality TV, I think. It's just, I can't stop reading it. Actually, it's not that I can't stop reading it. I'm really entertained by it, but I can tell that it's pretty bad. Doesn't have much substance, but I still really enjoy it, and I'm definitely willing to pick up the rest of it. Fragments of Horror, haven't read yet. It's a Junji Ito work. I know I'll probably at least enjoy it, but he's not my favorite. Golden Kamui, Volume 1. Kamui. I'm just going to say Kamui, because I think it sounds the best. Golden Kamui is really good, but I don't think it's as good as a lot of the other stuff I'm picking up right now, so it's not top priority. But I'll definitely get back into this one. I've seen a lot of really funny panels from it. And something I find really funny is how the bear looks in the anime. So pretty much it's this very, like, normal anime, and then the bear is CGI, so it looks horrible. It looks, like, so realistic compared to, like, the rest of the anime. But yeah, definitely give this one a read if you're into the kind of historical fiction type thing, because I think it's really enjoyable. Finally, we have Pun Pun Volumes 1 and 2. I'm going to come up to the next shelf and talk about it. Okay, we got my next shelf, and Pun Pun is my favorite manga of all time. It's one of the most beautiful manga, but it's also really sorrowful. It says so much in just 7 volumes. I've already made multiple videos on it. Actually, I just think I've only made 1 video, but I'm planning on making more. I'm not even going to go into it. It's just one of the greatest manga you will ever read. Coming up to the top of the shelf, sorry I skipped this, is Claymore, the box set, Volumes 1 through 27. Claymore is what brought me out of my manga depression, and it's a great manga. It hits all the sweet seinen spots. It's easily like an 8.5, 9 out of 10. People are sleeping on this series. It is great. It's gruesome, but it's not so gruesome to the point where it's just like, why is this in here? All the characters are really interesting. I thought they would be pretty boring and just like, I need to do this is my goal. But it kind of subverts expectations where it's like, you see these characters and they're like, oh, very robotic. And then they break their shells and like in really interesting ways, and like each character has their own little arc that really defines them, and I 100% would recommend it. We also got Tokyo Ghoul 1 and 2. I have 1 and 2 also down there, but currently I own doubles of 1 and 2. Planning on doing this in my I already hit 400 subs, maybe 500 sub giveaway. I'll give these away, probably, if I do a giveaway for that. And yeah, I really like Tokyo Ghoul so far. Don't have much to say on it, because I've read, like, all of the manga, but it was a while ago, so I don't remember much. I remember really liking it, but I was also younger. Okay, next we have Monster 1 through 5. I've read the entire thing online. As you know, it's my second favorite manga of all time, my third being One Piece. It's one of the greatest stories ever told. It's such a genius story. You're always on your toes reading it. What else can I say? It's just a fucking masterpiece. I recommend it to anyone who is just trying to get into any manga, even if you're a new fan or if you've been collecting for 10 years. I don't care. Pick up Monster. It is worth it. I guess next we have No Guns Life. I read the first volume, didn't like it. I was talking to my friend Jake, resident puppy kicker, seal clubber, he also drowns goats. I forgot about that part. So yeah, not my friend Jake. He's a puppy kicker and a seal clubber and a goat drowner. But he said that he really likes this, but he hasn't read Dorohedoro, and I feel like that's what someone who hasn't read Dorohedoro would probably think about it, because it's very much like Dorohedoro. It's the same exact premise, except the guy is trying to change from a gunhead to a human, not a lizard to a human, and it's trying to sort of build that atmosphere. I don't think it does it nearly as good as Dorohedoro, but I'll give it a pass. I'll give it a pass, and I'll definitely pick up some more volumes, but at the moment, I'm not enjoying it that much. Next, we have Ping Pong 1 and 2. I'm halfway through Omnibus 2, and I'm really enjoying it. I think it's very interesting. It tells a very interesting story that I don't think many manga tell. Coming-of-age stories are usually not in a lot of manga. That's probably why I like Pun Pun so much, and 20th Century Boys, is that they tell coming-of-age stories, which is one of my favorite genres. And Ping Pong's been doing that really well so far. I really think the art is very unique. It might not be my favorite in the world, but at least it's unique, and it says a lot in 2 volumes, compared to a lot of series that take thousands of chapters to tell stories. That was kind of a weird tangent, but whatever. Next we have Pluto Volume 1. I've read the entire thing, but it was a couple years ago, so I was slowly picking it up, and yeah, I'm slowly picking it up. Like the first volume, not as good as Urasawa's other stuff. Next we have Real. I'm only missing 2 and 3. 2 and 3 are really rare right now, going for 70, around 100 a piece, so I just read them online. I have finished this 14-volume series, and this is easily in my top 5. I'd say right now my top 5 is number 1, Pun Pun, number 2, Monster, number 3, One Piece, Number 4, Attack on Titan. And number 5, Real. Real is amazing. It tells such a beautiful story. It's not finished, and it probably never will, because Inoue is one of the most horrible people you'll ever meet when it comes to procrastination. But oh my god, do I recommend this series. When I heard about wheelchair basketball, I didn't really know what to think, because, you know, what would they really do with that? But they execute it so beautifully. At times you're hyped, at times you're sad, at times you're almost on the verge of tears, at times you're sort of a mix of both. It's such a beautiful story with so many interesting characters that all have their own arc. And I think that sort of like what it's trying to portray is that you have to persevere even through the worst moments of your life. And I really love that message, especially with like, it's not trying to be like, oh, wheelchair people or people in wheelchairs are struggling so much. Obviously they are, but it's like not trying to really portray like, well, it portrays a lot of like the psychosis, but it doesn't portray the physical stuff. It really portrays the mental stuff. And it also portrays some of the stuff where like there's a lot of able-bodied people who are going through some big mental trauma, maybe because they were in an accident with one of their friends and they were the one who survived, so they feel, you know what I mean, like guilty and stuff like that. It's a really great series, and I recommend it to anyone if you're willing to dish out some money for 2 and 3 or read them online. Next we have Shiver by Junji Ito. It was fine. It was just fine. Next we have Solanin. This is my second favorite Inio Asano work, and it's easily in my top 10, maybe a bit outside of it. Solanin is amazing. It's a beautiful story about a girl who doesn't really know what she wants to do, and she's very lost in life until a big tragedy happens, and she sort of has to find her way. And I think that story sounds very boring. When people ask, like, what Solanin's about, the only thing you can really respond with is, like, oh, modern-day adult Japan life, which sounds very boring, admittedly. It's like, this is a slice of life, cringe. But oh my god, Solanin in one volume tells such a beautiful story. It doesn't take any time with expository dialogue or anything like that. It just is right to the point. With also being subtle, it doesn't lay everything out on the floor like a lot of other manga do. And I 100% recommend it if you're a fan of romance, slice of life, just series that will mentally destroy you. I made a review on it, so check that out if you want. And yeah, next we have Tokyo Ghoul. I already said my piece. I think it's good. Haven't read it in a bit, so I definitely need to reread it when I get all of it. Next we have Tomie and Uzumaki. Okay, so Tomie was fine, like the other Ito stuff, but I have a story with Uzumaki. So for the longest time as a kid, I just couldn't really get scared by media, besides games. And Uzumaki definitely shook me up. I was reading it at night, admittedly, and this was a while ago, but this manga really shook me up. I don't think it's the most genius manga, and it's still not anywhere near my top 20, maybe not even 30, but it holds a special place in my heart. Next up, we have Vagabond 1 and 2, and you know what I got to do. It's the J-Dog Kun tradition. You know what it is. We're doing the quality check of Vagabond. It still is not damaged in the slightest after being thrown down the stairs 3 times, I think, so let's do it again. You know how I feel about Vagabond. It's one of the most disappointing series I've ever read. It's still in the middle of volume 2 because I can't get past it because I just don't like it. It's been hyped up through the roof for me, and it's so boring and just disappointing. And I also have 20 because I found it for like $2. Didn't want to pass up that deal. Next we have Venus in the Blind Spot. This is another Ito work. Again, it was fine. Next we have What a Wonderful World. This is 2 volumes long. I only own the first. The second was supposed to come, but instead 2 volume 1s came. I gave the other one to my friend who was staying over for the weekend at that time. Yeah, I decided just to read the second one online. This is my 3rd favorite Asano work. I really like it. It tells a very gripping story. It's a bunch of different short stories, but they're all intertwined in the end. And I think it's just, again, like Asano, it's very beautiful and sad, and yep, I just really enjoyed it. It's not like top 15 or maybe not even top 20, but I really enjoyed it. And I think in my top 20 manga video, putting it above Solanin and like Blade of the Immortal, and I think even, did I put it above Akira? Yeah, like, I really overhyped this, but I still really like it. Next we have Pandora Hearts. It's my only Yen Press series. Haven't read. Bye-bye. Next we have White Taiki. My friend T-Dog Reviews made a comic called White Taiki. I definitely recommend picking it up. It's a really good comic. It's a good blend of Oregon and Japanese time, and sort of if you want to blend it, especially if you live in Oregon, it's a cool, like, blend. I really enjoy it. I'm waiting for the 3rd volume. They're kind of thin, but I'd recommend them, especially if you want to support another manga YouTuber. Next we have my Japanese section. We have JoJo Part 8. Just thought I'd get it because it looked cool. One Piece 60, one of my favorite One Piece volumes. Master Keaton, I found it for like 50 cents, I think, and it's super nice and shiny and stuff. Leathery, super cool. Let me try to put that back in. Whatever this is, I think it's called Shakariki. It's like a racing manga. This is like a Kotaku or something like that. So it starts with a K. I just liked it because I think the cover is really beautiful. Fuck. Next we have Homunculus Volumes 1 and 2. This is one of my favorite manga I've ever read on scans. It's in my top 10, maybe top 15. It's a really psychological and really messed up manga, but it's super gripping, and it gripped me the entire way. I think I read the entirety of the 15 volumes in 2 days. I'm trying to piece the Japanese together just because I want to support it. And yeah, next we have Magi. I'm planning on picking this up soon in English, but it's 37 volumes, and it's kind of daunting. But, yep. Then we have Nijigahara Holograph to hold the whole thing over, and this is a pretty unfilled shelf. I have some stuff down there that's like for school and stuff. But yep, I'm planning on filling it all up soon. Next up, we have all my games. If you're not interested in video games, you can stop watching here. This is going to be the rest of the video. I showed all my collection for manga, so yeah. Also, would just like to say for the first time, I guess. Tomorrow, I'm recording this April 2nd, will be the 1-year anniversary of my channel, and the fact I was able to hit 430 subs in that time is crazy. I was only expecting to hit like 100 or less, so yeah, super cool. Okay, first we have the Nintendo Switch games, and the first one is Animal Crossing. New Horizons to be specific. This was my first Animal Crossing, and honestly, I'm gonna give it that classic J-Dog kind of thing. It's probably not for me. I still think I need to devote some more time to it, to fully see if it's worth all its hype, but I don't know, man. I just didn't enjoy it for some reason. I just didn't have a ton of fun playing it. It felt kind of monotonous after a while, and yeah, I sunk about like 15 hours into it, which is a good amount, but I don't know, man, it just wasn't as compelling to me as it was to other people. Next, we have the greatest game of all time, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Just one of the greatest games of all time. Truly a beautiful game, made me cry. I'm on my 9th playthrough of it. Just one of the greatest games of all time. Okay, next we have Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, one of the worst games, and no, I'm just kidding. One of the best games of all time. The whole Mario Rabbids thing was still not a joke. That is one of the best pieces of fiction ever. 10 out of 10. On my 11th replay, I actually, in between the recording of this, I played it 2 more times, just because I love it that much. Breath of the Wild is my favorite game of all time. If you've been watching the channel for a bit, you know that it nails immersion so damn well. I'm always immersed in the world. I can play for hours and hours and never get bored. The combat is amazing. A lot of people criticize it because it is not a good Zelda game. It doesn't follow the Zelda formula at all, and it really strays from it, but my god, is this the greatest game ever played, created, whatever. If you don't have a Switch, then, don't hurry out to get one, you know what I mean? There's better games for you to play if you have other systems, but if you do have a Switch and you don't have this, what are you doing, dude? Even if it's $60, it's one of the only games on the Switch that's been $60 for like 3 years and actually still deserves it. Next we have Rocket League. I love Rocket League. I play it mainly on PS4, so I don't play it on Switch that much. I got it for my birthday a while back. I love it. It's one of the most fun games just ever. I love messing around in it, and yeah. Next we have Smash Ultimate. Oh my god, I have 200, maybe even 300 hours on this game. I love playing with my friend Gameo, my friend Fx. I'll link both their channels in the description. I love Smash Ultimate. I'm a Cloud and Shulk main, even though I've never played Xenoblade. I have played Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, I love this game. It's the best Smash Bros. Game, easily. I haven't played Melee, though. That's actually the only one I haven't played in, or dabbled in, which is kind of funny, because that's the big one. But yeah, Smash I could play for hours on end. It's the second best game on the Switch, after Breath of the Wild, and yeah, just a great game. Next we have my Wii U games. The faceless one, is Funky Barn. It didn't come with, art, so I printed out art for the video. I think I did a pretty good job. But yeah, I didn't print out a spine, because, I wasn't going to be showing that in the video. Funky Barn, the funny thing is that that's one of my most, not popular in views, but a lot of people talk about that video. It was my face reveal video. It marked a lot of things on my channel, and I made that video without even playing the game, and I still haven't played the game. I just kind of made a bunch of jokes about it, and it was a big running kind of thing on my channel, in live streams and Discord and stuff. I've never played this game, and I don't plan on playing it. I might test it out. I don't know. Check it out every now and then. But yeah, next we have Wind Waker HD. This is one of the greatest Zelda games of all time, and it's an HD remake of it. Enough said. Love the dungeons, love everything about it. Just a beautiful game. New Super Mario Bros. U. It's so generic Mario. Just so generic Mario to the point where it kind of hurts, but it's a fun time, I guess. Star Fox Guard is actually really fun. I still kind of do this game every now and then. Play it, fire it up. Because it's a tower defense game like, any normal tower defense game, but it's super fun for some reason. Next we have Super Mario Maker. This game was kind of my childhood. I played it all the time. I have clocked over 100 hours into it, but I still prefer 2. I actually sold my copy of 2, funny enough. I think 2 just adds a lot, but 1 is still good, you know what I mean? It still holds up. Stupid Adventure Time game. I literally bought it because it was like 50 cents at the store. Still haven't played it. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is one of the greatest platformer games you will ever play. I recommend this game to everyone who has a Wii U or a Switch for the remake. Oh my god. This game, even though it's $60, I think it's worth it. This is one of the greatest platformers of all time. It's such a geniusly crafted game from like every standpoint, and god, I love this game. Next we have Madden 08. I got this game, for the lols. Scott the Woz, you know his history with it if you've seen his videos. It's kind of one of the big joke games on his channel. So yep, I thought I'd pick it up kind of just for a joke. Okay, next we're going to look at my GameCube games. I love my GameCube. Super Monkey Ball 2 is the first one. If you come by my streams, you know that I stream this game a lot. It's probably my most streamed GameCube game. I haven't streamed in a while, though. I should probably get back on that. I love this game. It is so fun, just messing around with. Every level is super fun. It's just pure fun in a game. I don't think there's much wrong with it, because it's just such a simple game. 1080 Avalanche is another really fun one. I don't think I've played this on stream. If I have, for very little. It's a snowboarding game. I'm more of a skiing guy, but whatever. Beautiful Joe is really good. I'm a big fan of like Bayonetta and all that stuff. Astral Chain. So this is by the same people, Platinum Games. And Hideki Kamiya. I'm actually blocked on Twitter by him, but I think he has like 90,000 blocked people. If you even ask him a question, he blocks you. But aside the point, yeah, it's kind of a big joke on the internet that he's kind of a Twitter troll. Beautiful Joe is good. It's a solid game. I still haven't finished it, but I'm planning on definitely trying to do when I hit like 500 subs, just do an all-nighter stream of trying to beat the game in one day. Metroid Prime is another really great Nintendo game, just one of the greatest games of all time when it comes to Nintendo games. I'm probably planning on making a video on these games soon. So I'm not going to go too in-depth, but yeah. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 is really fun. It's my favorite of the Tony Hawk games. I really like the new remake, but I'm counting like the originals, and this is definitely my favorite. Luigi's Mansion is another great game. Nintendo classic. I recommend it. It's only 6 hours. I haven't played any of the other ones, but yeah, solid game. And Sonic Mega Collection. It's like 7 Sonic games in one, and they're all solid games, solid platformers. Sonic 3 has always been my favorite. I think it's the most well-constructed, and yeah, definitely check that one out. Next, we have my 2 DS games and my 2 SNES games. That's my SNES in there. I also have a Sega Genesis thing. I don't own a DS anymore. These are older games. First one is my Japanese copy of New Super Mario Bros. U. To show that I'm not lying, I'll show you the cover art. Yeah, it's New Super Mario Bros. U. Or not U, just the normal one on DS. It's a solid enough platformer. I think, again, the first one is good, but then once we get to the Wii U one, it's just where, like, they just start going downhill. I think the Wii U and the 3DS ones were pretty bad. We also have Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. I got this right before, like, weeks before I sold my DS, so I never got to play too much of it, but I liked what I played. I still need to kind of check out the Mario RPGs and Paper Mario and all that stuff. The 2 SNES games are Street Fighter 2, Turbo Edition. This one doesn't work. And the other one's Super Mario World. It's a classic game. I think how I like to kind of talk about Super Mario World is that 3 was the big innovative one, Super Mario Bros. 3, and World was like, took it in a really different direction. It's a similar thing where like Sunshine took 64 in a very different direction, and I like it. It's a game where I used to really like 3 more, but I've kind of, as I've gotten like older, I've like my tastes of course shift in Mario games. Of course, like at first I was like 3 and 64 are the best games, so innovative, but now I'm like not indie, like sort of like independent games like Sunshine and Mario World are really what I'm into, and obviously Galaxy is still like my favorite. That's probably not going to change. Round everything off, we have my PS4 games, my Xbox One, and then my one PlayStation 3 game. I don't own a PS3. I just saw it for a super cheap price, and that's BioShock, one of my favorite games. I'll get into that in a bit. First, we have Dark Souls 3. I love Dark Souls 1. I'm actually in the middle of playing it. I'm currently in Blight Town, and I'm loving it so far. I've played Bloodborne, like not fully through to the finish, but I really like that one. But Dark Souls 1 is much better, in my opinion. Dark Souls 3 I haven't played yet. I'm planning on playing it eventually, but I haven't played yet. Overwatch. I have over 300 hours in this game. I used to play competitive every single day, and I love this game, but these days it's just become so trash, and I hope Overwatch 2 really innovates on sort of the formula that it was going for, because it's one of my favorite online games still to this day. I'd recommend it to anyone who wants to jump into it, but I think right now is kind of a hard place. So wait till Overwatch 2 comes out if you want to really get good. Next we have, I'll make my way back, because I don't really have much to say about. Actually, no, I'll just go in order. Fractured Butthole, South Park: The Fractured Butthole. I was expecting just to laugh a lot, and this is actually a really good RPG, like just a really fun RPG. And that's a really weird thing to say because it's a South Park game. You're expecting it for comedy, but it's just a really good game mechanically for some reason. No Man's Sky was bad. I didn't enjoy it at all. Battlefield 1. By the way, did I tell you that I switched from Xbox to PS4? So I still own my Xbox, but I'm selling it soon. Battlefield 1. Again, cheap price. I still haven't played it. That's the Halo, the Master Chief, or not, no, that's Halo 5 in there. Halo 5's kind of a disappointment. I bought it at launch, I think, and I just didn't like it, and I was, Halo 3 is one of my favorite shooters of all time. I'm a big Halo fan. I'll talk about that, the Master Chief Collection, and Halo 5 was disappointing. The Master Chief Collection, on the other hand, Halo 1 is a great game, Halo 2 is an even better game, and Halo 3 is one of my favorite shooters of all time. I'd recommend this collection tenfold. It's 4 great games. I think Halo 4 is a bit mid, but whatever. It's 3 great games with multiplayer and an online, so yeah, definitely recommend it. Even if it is still like $40, it's still, I think, worth the price. Finally, we have my PS4 games. First, we have Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection. I've only played Uncharted 1. I'm like halfway through 2. I'm really enjoying it. 2 is much better, and I can't wait to just fully dive into these games. Next, we have Marvel Spider-Man. I've already made a video on this, so I'm not going to go too in-depth, but it's a great game. Persona 5 Royal. Haven't finished it yet, but oh my god, this game is so stylish, so interesting, so intricate. The battle system is actually fun. I'm very mixed on JRPGs. They're some of my favorite games ever, but they can be some of my least favorite games ever. And Persona 5 is great so far. I can't wait to finish this game. I'm only 10, 15 hours into it, maybe even 20, 30, maybe even more. I'm not sure how far I am into it, but I'm definitely not at the end because it's a 100+ hour game. Next we have Bloodborne. This game is really great combat. I think it deals with combat in such an interesting way that I will never get bored of Dark Souls combat. It's just such an interesting way and approach to RPGs. I'm making videos on Dark Souls games soon. I'll definitely talk more in depth, but yeah, Bloodborne's not as good as Dark Souls 1, but still pretty good. Final Fantasy 15, haven't played it yet. Plan on starting it soon. And Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 plus 2.5. This is Kingdom Hearts 1, Chain of Memories 2, and all the other ones, I think, besides 3 and Dream Drop Distance. My friend Tux, I'll link his channel as well, kept recommending this to me. I'm like almost done with 1 and I'm really loving it. Absolutely great hack and slash. Core gameplay loop, so fun. Not getting tired of it at all. There's some of the levels are really great, like Olympus Coliseum, and even, what are some other really good ones? I really like Neverland, but then there's some really bad ones, like the Aerial Land. I don't know, I don't watch a ton of Disney movies. But I do know a lot of the Final Fantasy references in here, and yeah, it's kind of a cross between Final Fantasy and Disney, which might seem kind of weird, but this game's great. So that's my game collection, and also the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for getting me to 400 plus subs. Thank you so much, and yeah, it's the 1-year anniversary of my channel, so I'm super happy that I've been able to grow this much, and yeah, just thank you guys. This is JDogCun, signing out. Peace.
Real G's always hit like and subscribe, turn on the bell if you're along for the ride. You never know what happens on JDogCun, but you do know that it will always be fun.